Alrighty guys, so it has been a hot minute since I've done an update video. I've been trying to play catch up. We got the motor in the ZX14. We are waiting for a input shaft support plate. I ordered one 8 days ago. They just called me and said, oops, we don't have it. So now I gotta hunt that down. So that's a whole nother situation I'm dealing with. Today's video is all about the Hyperbusa. So I'm gonna do a really quick shop update, skip to about a minute and a half to get to that. This girl's here for a name brand chain and sprocket this time. Ham's bike, got the cams moved. We're gonna see what it does for power. Notice the fuel filter was never replaced, although it was supposed to have been replaced by another shop. So, it is what it is. Silver bike is ready for the dyno. Nancy, I'm waiting for some shims. I am short 3 shims because all the shims were wrong. And it, of course, needed all the same size. This girl we're waiting for, I'm just spinning y'all. This girl we're waiting for the carburetors to come back from Paul Gast. Brett's motor's done and ready to go in. I'm just trying to get through a couple things so I can get to it. We're ahead of schedule, now we're falling to schedule and hopefully not behind schedule. The 1441's apart. I cannot find anything physically wrong with this motor. So I'm gonna put it back together again and see what's up. I'm going to put a little more base gasket in it to knock the compression down because it has some stupid high compression, and we'll see where we go from there. Forest motor, I'm waiting on a bearing. It is ordered. I'm waiting for it to come in, and then I can go ahead and get that knocked out. I got a whole lot of people to call this afternoon. Alright, so on to the title of the video. The Hyperbusa Killer, kill shot, has finally made it to the dyno today. Dennis did an amazing job. There was delays along the line with cams and so on. For some reason, my phone auto cuts the video once in a while, and I don't know why. But there was delays along the line with cams and so on and so forth that held us up. It is what it is in that situation. We got it together. We got the whole setup together. I'm going to give you kind of a rough rundown, but not all the information. And then we'll go to the numbers, because the numbers are where it shines. So, Colt Bateman's bike, Hyperbusa Killer. Zona rotor turbo, 55mm X3 housing, 8.3AR back housing, with an RCC Performance custom V-band full merge header. Intercooled with an RCC billet ultra plenum. Let's get this tank flipped up here. Custom anodized and engraved for Colt. Motorhead did the install and the motor build. Now the motor is 1407 cc's. Beyond that, I'm not going to give you any other information. Okay, if you want that combo, we can sell you that combo. We will sell you that exact combo. It has custom grind cams. The head is ported. There's a bunch of other little shit done to it, but it is one hell of a combo, and it will take even more power than we are making. We are just at the limitations of the turbo. We haven't pushed to the limit of the turbo, but we stopped there because it lives to go another day. Of course, Boost by Smith plug and play Max ECU Sport. This thing is completely maxed out. Pulse P10 battery, all the power we're ever going to need. The fuel pump is a Deechworks brushless fuel pump, external system, and -8 feed, -6 feed to the rail, with a radian regulator. This is a 2-stage brushless pump, so on low mode it pulls very, very little power. That is everything below 4 psi. From 4 psi up, the ECU commands high power, and this sucker goes into overdrive mode, and it will kick everything we need for 800 plus horsepower on E85 or E90. Boost control, that needs straightened up. I gotta straighten it back up. We had it off earlier to double check the routing and plumbing. The boost control is CO2. We were running it on shop air for dyno purposes to make sure we didn't have any leaks or anything. We just ran regulated shop air. Same thing. It has a Hayes hand slider in it, set up live for the street right now. Boost by Smith custom dash. Hear that fuel pump kick to life back there. Currently reading boost, but we can change modes. There it's reading ethanol content, E70, well E75-ish. There's mile an hour. That is air fuel lambda. So on and so forth. There's one that's pressure. Oh, one of those two is pressure. So that's pressure, air fuel lambda. so on and so forth. It does have a custom 250 mile an hour speedometer in it, and it fires up like a dream. If I can push the button. Now, drivability tuning is not done. So, we did do drivability tuning. We ran into some slight hiccups in that. Had to change our method a little bit because the way I was transitioning the secondaries, it didn't appreciate in this particular combo because the boost comes in so early. So, once we started cranking it up, we started noticing deviations in the air fuel that I didn't like and the way it was correcting. So I just redid the map, and we have not done all of the drivability. Hence, when I revved it there a few times, the accel enrichment overloaded it. That's why it stumbled. That will be gone tomorrow, but today we focused on power. Because we'd already spent a whole day tuning, we were frustrated, and we just wanted to make some damn power. So, let's get to it. So, Colt Bateman. Let's go down here to 265. So, that lower gray line and pink line, or sorry, the orange line and pink line, that is wastegate power. So, on wastegate, this thing makes, that is 4 pounds of boost, 265, 142. And it makes staircase all the way up. You can kind of see as we go through here. I'm just going to move this up so y'all can see a little better. There's a Suki in here too, just for comparative. But you can see the power slowly climbing as we turned it up as we went through the day. And then we ended the day at 608 horsepower, 364 foot-pounds of torque. Now that 364 foot-pounds of torque is a personal record for this dyno. Normally I can't plant that. It took a small act of Congress. We wound up breaking a ratchet strap. We were cranking it down so tight, so I had to go get new straps. They're pretty in yellow. But we got it rocking and rolling. So this bike, tomorrow we are taking the day off, and Saturday we are taking the day off. I'm not taking the day off, but I am taking the day off-ish. I have some business I need to attend to here in town, up at the courthouse, and getting everything squared away there. Just normal business shit. It just has to be done during courthouse hours. Once I get done with that, I'll be back, and I got to put the chain on the SV, and we'll see where we go from there. I do have a race this weekend I have to attend, so that's a whole nother situation. But we're moving forward on everything as fast as I can. So y'all bear with me. I thank you all very much for your patience. The Hyperbusa Killer, we're probably either Sunday or Monday we'll come back to dyno, and we'll do all the 85 drivability on the dyno, every throttle position, every sweep, a few different boost control settings to make sure the sweeps are good. And then we will switch over to gasoline, where we are going to probably cap this thing somewhere around 400 horsepower. To be honest, if this thing had Igna 1A coils, that is our limitation. That is our dead limit right now, is the ignition system sucks. Okay, I had to lean it up and put timing into it that I really didn't want to at the boost level we were at. We were at 28 PSI to make that 608 horsepower. And I'd really like to be fat and happy there, but we wound up happy, just not fat and happy. We are 12 to 1 air fuel and 29 degrees of timing. I'd rather have more timing out of it at like 27 and like 11.7 to 1 air fuel, but it works. It just won't burn that. So on gasoline, I've got to be more conservative on gasoline to keep the motor alive. So on gasoline, we're probably going to be capped just under or at 400 horsepower is my guesstimation. But if I wanted to be blunt and honest, if it would burn it at like high 10 to 1s or 11 to 1 with timing pulled out, I bet money that we could make 500 on pump gasoline on this bike. It'd be violent, but it'll do it. But that's just my personal opinion. It's not backed by any facts or measures at this time because we are not going to try that. This thing is fast as hell. We'll switch to gasoline. We do have a couple little bugs to work out still. The gas gauge, I think the fuel sender came unhooked when the pump was stuck back in. So it's just reading open circuit. Not a big deal. We'll just put the fuel sender back in. When we pull the E85 out, we'll pull the pump, get it fixed. And the quick shifter is a Woolwich Racing strain gauge, and it doesn't seem to want to work. I got to get with Greg on that. That is a locked portion of his map. So that is in the CAN bus and user tables that he has custom mapped, and he locks even from me. So I'll have to get with Greg on that and see what I'm missing there. It may just be as simple as a checkbox in one of the locked menus. But this girl should be by the end of next week on the road getting tested, getting all the road tuning done, and we'll see when it's going to head home. Colt will probably do a bunch of street riding. Hopefully he can go to like the mile or something. He needs to change gearing. He has 1942 gears on it right now. That is not going to fly. That is going to flip. So I told him to get at least a 38. He said he's getting that. I think he needs to get a 36 as well for the rear, and see if we can't knock some power out of it. For now, that's all we got going on. What is this wire going to? Oh, it's just tucked up there in nothingness. Squirrel. Anyway, I just found a wire labeled RSR going to something, and I don't know what it's going to. I'm going to have to ask Dennis what he wired that up to, or if it's just existing from the previous setup, because this was a stock ECU bike with an air shifter, and we do not have the air shifter on it at this time. Anyway, that's the video. That's what we got going on. Somewhere in the middle there, I'll put a clip in. I did put a clip in, I hope. Later, y'all.